breathe for me, George, breathe for me. I go, I know you're hurt, but I just want you to breathe for me.
Friends of another Hells Angels member in shock after a bus runs over the biker, and officers say the driver aimed for his target. It is the latest in a spree of violence involving the biker gang.
Ron Jones is in Stockton, where the victim lived, with friends he left behind.
Well, guys, we had an opportunity to speak with a young man who says he was riding with George Lopez Jr. when his bike went down. And he claims that that van driver was trying to run over him as well.
I got hit. I didn't go down.
Ozzy is a Hells Angel.
So we almost lost everybody.
And so is his dad, Oscar.
There was only one thing on his mind, and that was to get us.
They both describe a horrifying afternoon when CHP investigators say 51-year-old George Lopez Jr., a Hells Angel, was allegedly struck by a paratransit van this weekend and dragged on Interstate 580.
I didn't believe what I saw.
Ozzy and Oscar were riding with George along with other Hells Angels when Ozzy says the van's driver rammed his bike.
I grabbed gas, got hit from behind. When I hit from behind, I looked behind, all I could see is that Ford emblem right there in my face.
Ozzy thought he was going to die.
Trying to keep my bike from going down. The guy came up trying to get me again. I swerved out of the way. All I could hear him is accelerate and go towards the next guy. By the time I gained control of my bike, which was pretty much out of commission, I looked up and I seen the other bike go down. And at that time, he just drug him all the way down the freeway, sparks and everything.
George lay on the ground, still breathing. Oscar ran to his side.
I knew that when I walked up, that both his legs were broke and both his arms were broke. And it looked like to me, his neck was broke as well. But I wasn't for sure.
It didn't look good.
But I got on my hands and knees and I said, George, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And he looked right up at me with his helmet on. He looked at me like this and he went, I go, George, you're breathing.
But it was too late. George was gone within minutes.
So I looked at him, I said, George, all I want you to do is breathe. Breathe for me, George, breathe for me. I go, I know you're hurt, but I just want you to breathe for me.
The Hells Angels are getting a bad rap. They're not that bad.
These ladies ride with the Hells Angels. They're going to miss George.
I hope George didn't see it happen. I hope he didn't know it happened, and I hope he didn't suffer.
Accused of killing Lopez and striking other Hells Angels is 31-year-old Eddie Hall of Oakland.
There's no way in hell you're going to clip a guy behind me, run me from the back, and go after another guy.
Well, at this point, the suspect is being held in the Alameda County Jail, and at this point, he's being held on hit-and-run charges.
The van driver, Eddie Hall, initially faced a charge of murder.
But police are now trying to determine the motive in that case.